Hi team, Craig here with a little introduction to Moodle. By now you would have been given some access information to get into our NZIS Moodle page. When you open it up, you'll see something very similar to what you're looking at right here. So this is my login to Moodle here, and as you can see, I have access to a number of different courses here because of my administration rights. But with you, you'll only have access to the PT Flexi Module 1. As you can see there. As you click on the PT Flexi Module 1 Christchurch, it'll take you into our course page. So here we see NZIS PT Flexi Course 2017 in here. And in here I've uploaded a bunch of different things to help you on your way with your studies. And each subject you'll see as the course goes on, more and more information will be uploaded. Our first two subjects are anatomy, physiology, and as we go down here, you'll see exercise prescription there too. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the ropes using AMP as an example, and then once you've got the theory down on how to use this thing, you'll be able to navigate the site to assist your studies. So just at the top here, any announcements that I might have will be popped up on the announcement here at the top, so you'll see any messages that I've got, and they'll also you'll also be able to view them on the side here. It'll say latest announcements, something's been added, or something, an administrator has added something for you to look at there, so you can check them out at any time. There's a course overview, which you're welcome to just click into. And that course overview will give you some information. So what might happen as you go into them is that it may come up with a sentence like this saying that you've already seen this page or something like that. Because we're sharing the site, if someone's been there before you, then they may have already looked at the page and may have left it at a point where you're not up to. So we'll just click. Do you want to start at the last page you saw? Yes, thanks. And we'll go down, and here is information on the course. So it's got information on the times, information on the weeks, and those kind of things as well. Now at the time of doing this video, the details that are here were current. This may have changed since we've met face to face, and you'll be updated on those new times if there is a need to change those. The 6 modules are listed there, and you can see the first 2 we're doing: anatomy, physiology, and exercise prescription. Okay, and it sort of looks at the different blocks and when the courses are running there as well. Okay, so again, any changes to these that come up, you'll be told well in advance. Whenever you've finished with the page you're on, guys, you just need to go up to the top, go back into PT Flexi Module 1. Okay, and as we go down there, you see, of course, overview you've already had a look at. I've then designed a little task called Get to Know Each Other, because we'll spend probably more time working on information ourselves rather than in the classroom situation. It's good to get to know each other early, and so we can crack straight into things when we do get face to face. It'd be nice to have an idea of who we're sitting with in the class and who the other people in the course are. So I've designed a little Padlet task here. It's pretty simple. It's just like a little wallpaper or notice board app, if you haven't seen Padlet before, and it's very easy to add to. And what I've done is I've just put a little task on there to help you get started getting to know each other. So I've put an example of the kind of thing I'm after there. It's got a little spiel about me, about how I've been involved in sport and fitness over my life cycle, and what's brought me to the point I sit at now, currently as a leader for a PT course. Talks a little bit about some things that are important to me, and I've just chucked in a wee interesting note there as well, just something that wouldn't be immediately apparent upon meeting me. So all you need to do to get into this little discussion here is just move into a space where there isn't anything, double click your cursor, and what will come up is a little text box there. So you'll just write in hello, your name, and then start to list some stuff there. If there's any pics you wanted to chuck on there, pretty easy to add them by just clicking on the picture icons or anything like that. Okay, so it'd be great to find out a little bit about yourself. If you make a mistake, obviously, or you don't want to upload what was on there, you just click the delete, and it takes you back to the way it was before. Alright, so it'd be great to see some entries from you guys. I'm looking forward to getting to know you, and hopefully you're looking forward to getting to know each other. Once that task is done, obviously we navigate back up to the top here, PT Flexi Module 1, and we just keep working down the list. Things are in order here. So at this point we come to the AMP class. Now this is one that I teach on the course. You can see the topics that are included on the course listed here, right from anatomical terms down to acute and chronic effects of exercise. And everything is listed in the order in which we're going to sort of cover it here. So under each topic, there are typically going to be three to four little links that you can click into that will be helpful in your studies for the subject here. The subject itself is broken into 5 key different subject learning areas, and each of them have an end topic quiz attached to them, which is worth 10% of the final grade. So those 5 will add up to 50%, obviously, once you've done your 5 end topic quizzes, and then we'll prepare for a final 50% examination, which will be more about the practical learnings of what we can take out of the anatomy stuff. So the little quizzes are short quizzes, which I'll show you an example of in a moment. Mainly multi-choice or identifying where structures are, all of those kind of little things that are just pure anatomy-based learning. And then, like I say, the 50% exam at the end of this will be more about the practical learnings that we can take of an anatomy from a PT perspective. So in each subject that comes up, you'll see AMP Lecture 1, AMP Terminology and Joint Movement Terms. If I just click on that, it gives you a little description of what's in it there. Okay. And if you were to click on that, it will take you to a Prezi that I've developed, which will take you through the main notes here. So we just need to click on Present. Now, worth noting with the Prezis, guys, it does take a couple of minutes sometimes, depending on your internet connection and the speed of your broadband, etc., about how quickly it will actually load. So you want to give it a chance to load content. You'll see down the bottom here when it is still loading content. If you weren't to wait for that, you might get to a slide and there might be nothing there in terms of a picture or a video or something like that. But when it's ready to go, you can see that it's stopped loading at this point. You can go to full screen if you wish by just clicking this button here. And then you just navigate using the arrows here. So as we navigate, you'll see it dives in to talk about the different things that the lecture is going to take you through. Okay, so you can work through this one at your own pace, which some people prefer to do. Good idea to maybe open a Word document alongside this and just tap in any keynotes and learnings there. But the other option that you have is this same Prezi is also available to you in a video format where I'm actually giving a lecture over the top of the slides that you're looking at. So you'll see it down here, back onto this main page here. Underneath AMP Lecture 1, AMP Terminology and Joint Movement Terms, we've got AMP Video Lecture 1, Anatomical Terminology and Joint Movement Terms. So if I was to click on that, exactly the same presentation. However, this time I've recorded my voice over the top of this one. Okay, so we just need to hit play, make sure we're at the start, and then you'll hear my dulcet tones ringing over the top of this Prezi, giving you some advice as we go. So here we go. So just make sure, depending on who watched it last, where it gets up to, just take it all the way back to the start.
Hi guys, Craig here with the first in a series of anatomy and physiology video lectures. This is a supplementary lecture to the Prezi that you'll find on the Moodle NZIS page, and I'm going to talk you through the slides, give you the knowledge you need from these slides to take forward. This one looks at the introduction to the anatomy terminology, the words that are going to crop up a lot as the course goes on, and it should help you navigate your way through the upcoming anatomy modules that we'll work our way through.
So there you see, you can pause at any point along the way, and that will allow you to make any notes that I might have raised that you might think are important to note down. At the end of each topic, there will also be a little worksheet that we go through that talks about the accessible content of what you've just looked at, and you guys would then go and study up on that stuff, and then a week later we would attempt the end of topic quiz. In the meantime, between viewing this and then coming into class for our anatomy lectures in class, we'll spend our time touching base on that accessible content, so you know exactly what's being assessed, and then answer any questions you might have that have arisen from the lectures from there. And that should send you away with pretty safe knowledge of what the assessment's going to be like, that you can practice up, and then when we come back for the next face-to-face, you'll start that face-to-face with your little end of topic quiz before we kick into the next one, and so on and so forth. So just to have you give you a look at this here. If I was to drag this on a wee bit into the lecture, you'll see that there are worksheets, there are things that go on within the video itself. And in those situations there, so we're looking at the worksheet right here, I'll instruct you to pause the video at that point, have a go at answering the questions, and then you can start the video again, and of course we'll run through the answers as we go. Now the only difference between the original Prezi without the voice overwrite that I've got and this one that we're looking at here is that in the original there are some videos in there, and instead of taking your time on the video one to sit there and watch the video with you, I'll instruct you to go and have a look at that video on the original. So I won't be sitting there playing the videos during the video lecture, and that's just to try and keep the time down a little bit. So you can see this particular lecture is about 54 minutes long. It's very much the same as the type of lecture I'd be giving in a face-to-face class, which are typically around that hour mark. So you may find that if it's too long to sit here and listen to me, you may chunk it up into 20-minute segments or half-hour segments or something like that and watch it over the course of a week. Alright, so that's the video lecture component. We'll go back into the module here. Now in certain modules as we go through, you'll find not only that we have the video lecture there, but I may also put some links in to help you practice some of the learnings. So an example of that is in lecture 2, the skeletal system, where you have to learn the location of bones. When you see this little web link here, so it's the worldwide sort of logo there, and it says bone location, whack a bone, you simply click on it and it will take you to a link, and then we click on the link, it'll open up inside the same browser, and this one's called Whack a Bone, for example. So they're usually just little games, pretty catchy tune you can see there. Might get rid of that for a second. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You would go in, for example, just follow the prompts where it says begin, and in this one here you've got to build the bones of the arms by having some idea. For example, here it says carpals, and we've got to drag them into the key spot there, and then it says metacarpals, and by knowing where the bones go and practicing that, you're getting timed up here as well, so there's a bit of a leaderboard situation going on. We could have some skiting going on in class for who managed to dominate the most. Okay, so worth checking out that too. Again, when you're done, just navigate back into the Flexing Module 1, and you'll see that on other lectures as well, such as to do with muscle and those kind of things, you'll find some more links in there as well. Okay, so the only other thing worth mentioning is on this one you'll see at the bottom of the lectures here, so we've got the lecture 1, we've got the video lecture 1, and we've got this practice quiz here. So the practice quiz is to give you an idea after the first topic of what some of the end topic quizzes are going to look like. So you can test yourself out on this and get familiar with the testing format. If I click on that, it goes to some quizzes that I've made on a platform called iQuiz. And just a couple of things on this one here. It's again, we'll say, would you like to resume where you left off? Obviously someone's been in there before, we'll just go no and start from the beginning. And then we have to do is start the quiz. Now anytime we can zoom in here, so I can zoom and just orientate myself with it so I can get a better view of things. These videos that are playing up here are all interactive, so I can click on them and they'll come up for me for a better look. And you can see there's some movement going on there. And often the questions are going to be multi-choice based, so I just need to choose one. So on this one here, let's say I know that that is supination of the forearm, and I click on supination and I submit my answer, and it'll tell me straight away whether I was correct or not. Now if you're not correct or partially correct in some cases, you can review the quiz at the end and it will show you where you went wrong, and then you can replay the quiz if you wish and have another crack. And we're hoping for 100% by the end of it. If you don't want to deal with a quiz question straight away, you can actually push submit and it says postpone. And if I was to postpone this, it'll just simply pop up at the end of all of the ones that I have answered, and I will have to have a crack at it by the end. So again, there can be interactive videos there. We can watch something happening there and we can determine that's that and submit. It could be anything from matching to clicking on something to say where it is. So you follow the instructions and have a go. Now, when we do these for real in class for our end topic quizzes, I will actually be there, and any clarification that's required during it will be done before you submit your answer. Okay, so you guys can have a go at that once you've had a look at the first lecture. This one is not accessible, so this is a practice one. Okay. The other ones you won't see on the Moodle page. They won't come up until the actual assessment is being done, so they're hidden until that time, just to stop people getting on and having a go at the assessments well ahead of time. Alright, again, once we've completed something, we simply whip back. We're back on our Moodle page here and ready to interact with the next thing. So, of course, what I'll do in our face-to-face classes is I'll tell you where I want you to be at any part during the course. So, I'll send you away with some clear advice on what lecture you have to have looked at, whether there's a practice quiz that you have to do along with that needs to be submitted. And of course you can watch the video lecture for any of these as well. And that way we'll sort of chunk through our key lectures, of which there are 6. That'll take us around that 6-week mark, and then we've got 2 weeks to really prepare for the final assessment that'll be in anatomy. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of Moodle, and at certain times I may be opening up some discussion forums and those kind of things, but I'll give you that information a bit closer to the time, and that should open up some nice interactive learning there as well, where if you want to interact with each others or you want to touch base with me and ask a question, leave it for me so I can post in an answer at some point that everyone might also want to see. That's another way of doing things too. So yeah, NZICE Moodle, hopefully you find after a couple of practices that you're pretty familiar with it, and as the course goes on I'm sure you'll find it a useful tool that you can access from home to help your learning. Alright guys, looking forward to seeing you back in class at our next juncture, and yeah, first part of the course, so hopefully you're excited. I'm really excited to meet you guys and to work with you, and let's make this a really enjoyable experience. Alright, Craig signing off. Catch you later. Bye.